Welcome back everyone to our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2. So we're coming off of a demolition derby at the short track, and wow, that was some race at Richmond. There was contact everywhere. Some of it we initiated, some of it we did not initiate, but overall we came home with a top 10 somehow. We were as far up as, I think, 5th or 6th at one point in that race toward the end. And then with all the contact, we come home about 10th. And we got a warning from Brad K at the very end about rough driving. And the bad thing about that is we got a warning about rough driving, and yet we had absolutely no rivals after that. We got some guys that are neutral toward us, and we took a look at that. But that's about it. It's really not a whole lot of consequences to rough driving, I suppose, unless you do it race after race after race. But now, in sharp contrast to where we were at the short track, now we're going to go to the biggest track on the circuit at Talladega. Now, Talladega is an entirely different animal, and in this game, honestly, it's not all that fun. Same thing with Daytona, and the reason is there's really not any good racing. You really can't run side by side and actually have a chance to race. Now, what we do for fun is if we get to the front with plenty of laps to go, then I generally like to hop on to the high side and see if I can't push and shove some guys up there to the lead and just basically have some fun. But all in all, it's very simple, the strategy at Talladega. You hug the bottom and you wait for a lane to open up, you wait for cars to move out of the way, and you simply fill the spot. That's all you do. And in some respects, particularly like in the truck series, that's pretty realistic. That's all they do. So it's not very fun to watch, and I can't imagine very much fun to participate in either. So we're going to do the best we can. We're going to try to get our way to the front. If we can get our way to the front, then we'll try to have some fun, and we won't worry too much about finishing position, but rather just try to mix things up and have as much fun as we possibly can. So we'll go Talladega in this video, and let's take a quick look at the schedule and see what's upcoming beyond that. Then we'll head back to 1.5 miles at Kansas, and then yet another 1.5 miles at Charlotte. So we got some bigger tracks coming up next, and that'll give us a chance to once again fine-tune on our science project and try to see where we can reasonably come out in the race for some good racing and be around some AI that will allow us to have some fun. All right, let's go ahead and click on next race, and I believe we're ready to head to the track. All right, before we get the race started, let's take a quick look at the setup, and really nothing much to this. Pretty standard setup. There's not a whole lot you need to worry about doing at this particular track. This should be plenty enough speed to get us to the front, provided, of course, that we have the opportunities to do so, because, as I mentioned, really at this track, all you need to do is hang around the bottom, wait for cars to move out of the way, and then you just take their spots in that way. This setup should turn plenty well enough for us to get there, but who knows? Maybe it'll be a little bit too tight and we'll have to actually work for it. All right, we are green here at Talladega, and our best friend DJ Kennington is right in front of us. It'll be 24 laps. Now we're just trying to get up to speed, tag along with the pack until we have an opportunity to do something a little bit more than that. And you can see these guys will run 2 by 2. That's not the issue. The issue is that the high line just really doesn't do much. So it doesn't give you a great opportunity to really go anywhere. All right, so we're kind of half throttle right now, as you might expect. Just waiting for things to give us an opportunity. There you go. He moves to the high side. Let's see. No, we don't really have enough momentum to go anywhere right now. You can see the high side is definitely opened up for us. So as we get momentum, we'll be able to move up through the field. And I'm going to try to stick as close as I can to these guys, try to get as much draft as I can. You can see we're going well over 200 miles an hour at this point. Ooh, way out of the gas there. Yeah, no particular hurry to get anywhere. I've got that weird feeling back in the center of the steering wheel, where it's like the car is just wobbling back and forth, and I hate that feeling. That dead zone around the center is no fun whatsoever. Let's see if we can get underneath the 23. I love how they do that weird twitch whenever you get close to their left rear. Alright, passing some more cars on the bottom. Way out of the gas on corner entry. And once again, they'll leave the bottom open. We'll try to fill that hole and stay off these guys as best we can. We do not want to start a wreck here. Alright, so we're up to 26th, and so far it's been just about as easy as it could have been. You can see still speed's way over 200, 204, 205, pretty normal at this point, as we're getting quite a pull from the cars in front of us. You can see the recipe, pretty simple here at Talladega. Just bide your time, pass them on the bottom whenever you get opportunities. Like the 27 is about to give us an opportunity here as he slides up on the track, and we'll simply get underneath him on corner exit. Alright, so now that gets us up inside the top 20. And in fact, because they're running 2x2, it almost clears us for a top 15. And we're only 5 laps in, so this does not bode well if we can continue to march up quite this easily. Let me back out of it there before we get into Matt Kenseth. Once again, we're prepared to get under him coming off the corner. Still trying to give these guys plenty of room. I was actually going to let JJ back in there, but he decided to go high. Oh, we got a huge run coming off the corner. See if they block it. Nope, they do not. So even with me lifting coming off the corner, we still had a huge run. Ouch. Woo. Somebody popped us pretty good. Alright, so now we're inside the top 10 and almost the top 5 at this point. Again, I'm going to try to stay as close as I can to these guys. Try to keep the draft until somebody does what the 3 car did and pop out of line and get right down in front of us. Yikes. I was completely out of the gas and on the brake going into that corner, trying to stay off the 3 car, and there we go. The water's part and our path to the lead becomes wide open. Alright, so now we can have a little fun. We've made it to the front. It's a 24 lap race and we're only on lap 8, so now we've got to figure out what we want to do for fun for the remainder of the race, because I have absolutely no desire to try to just block and do all that. I'm not interested in that. So we're going to play around here a little bit with not only the 18 car who's running side by side with us, but anybody else that can get up front and run with us as well. Now what would be great is if the cars behind would draft hard with him and make this very difficult for me to stay in the lead. That would be perfect. But if Denny Hamlin continues to do what he's doing right now, which is draft with me on the bottom, then that's going to make it very difficult for anyone to hold their own on the outside. You can see now we've easily cleared Kyle Busch. All right, now let's go ahead and hit up top a little bit. Let the 11 scoot down underneath us. All right, you can see Kyle Busch coming up on us from behind. And a little bump from, I believe that's the 2 car. All right, so Kyle Busch will go low, and that leaves us out here with no help. Let's see what the 3 car does. He's coming up behind us now. So you can see we've got plenty of drafting down the straightaway, and there we get great momentum that way, and that'll enable us to basically hold our own out here for as long as we would like to try it, at least until we can get back down on the bottom anyway. So it looks like we're going to have a break and a chance to get back down on the bottom in another car or two. Alright, so it looks like this car that's on the inside of us now, we can get back down right behind them. That's the 3 car. Honestly, I'm not all that interested in doing that. Okay, the 41 car is just going slow. See if we can get up here to the 2 car. But you can see, once you get on the outside, you just drop like a rock. Mostly because the cars will get single file, and then you just have no chance. Now let's see if we can shove the 2 car forward. We should be able to get in a nice run. You can see we have a nice head of steam going into turn 1. And I'm just going to keep beating on his bumper as much as I can, just to see what we can get done. All right, there we go. Looks like 78, I believe, is up front. Nope, that's the 11. He actually hopped up in front of the 2 car and halted our move forward. Oh, for some reason the 2 cars just lifted right there. Must have been the 11 blocking him. But you can see we can easily hold our own out here. There we go. Great run. This ought to push the 2 car into the lead. And I would imagine he will quickly run to the bottom, and he does. Alright, so that ends our fun temporarily until we can find another car to play around with. So we're roughly halfway through the race. So we still have plenty of time to have fun. Oh, and somehow the 2 car has found himself on the outside once again. See if we can get back to it. Alright, so we should be able to work our way back to the front like we did before. Let's see, we get a really, really good run coming down the back straightaway. Wow. That pushes him up even with second position. And then coming off the corner, I'm going to get a nice run to him. And going into turn one, well, no, we're going to get a block here from the 11 car. Alright, here we go, back straightaway again. And let's see what we can do with the 11. He's going to come up to block. As you can see, we're motoring by the inside lane pretty nicely. Unable to get to the lead because the 11 car was actually up in front of us. Here we go. Good run going into turn one. Nice huge run for us coming off the corner, down the back straightaway. And you can see we're easily going to pull about 2 car lengths on the inside lane going down the back straightaway. So that gets the 2 car back out in front. And so we'll hang around out here and try to do it all again. Alright, so you can see we're easily able to stay up with this top group. Of course, we're the only car on the outside lane, so we have a real hard time hanging with them in the corners. Watch out there, Truex. But on the straightaway, we catch enough of a draft to really stay up there even with them, so we can stay around 4th or 5th. Alright, looks like the 11 car is the odd man out now. What's odd is there are no cars that are catching us from behind. This little lead pack that we've got, it's about 7 cars, I believe. There's nobody catching us. Let's see what we can do with pushing Denny Hamlin to the front. Alright, so we're 2 by 2 now. And I'm trying to push, but it's not working now because the 2 car is just not going anywhere. And that could simply be that the 11 car simply won't push it. Even though I'm pushing on the 11 car will not push himself. You can see the 11 car is ready to get back to the inside. Let's go ahead and jump down here and see if we can't make up some positions and get back to having some fun, because I can already tell I do not want to be 3rd guy back on the top. Alright, so now this puts us behind Truex. We should have a nice run coming through the tri-oval. Oh, he got way out of the gas because the 18 pulled up. Alright, now this will give us a great run Down the straightaway. Let's see if we'll keep going. Yep, the 18 is going to stay down on the bottom. And that means we get the freight train right by. Alright, so if the 78 will continue to pull up on the straightaway and give us a draft, then we'll continue to be able to basically hold our own somewhere around 3rd to 5th. Alright, the 18 car jumps right up to the side, taking us 3 wide. That will not work for us, for sure. See where that was leading. I did not want to be 3rd guy on the top behind Truex in the 18. Let's see if we can't push the 78 by. Alright, so that gets the 78 back into the lead. Alright, we've got a couple of laps to go again. I'm not terribly worried about our finishing position. This has actually been a good amount of fun. As much as you can. This is making the best of a bad situation. See if I can get that 11 to push me up here on the top. I don't think I can. And you can see the inside line just drives right by us going through the corner. Alright, so we're going to be coming to 1 to go, the white flag lap. And when we even have a sniff of the draft, we can pull right up there to them. But unfortunately, we just don't get that all that often when you're running on the high side. There's just not enough cars, and my guess is that the physics are such that it makes it nearly impossible to make it happen. 2 and 3 wide. Alright, so it looks like our best shot here. We're going to try to take Dylan and see what we can do with him. See if we've got enough time to get him up to the front. We got one more good push, I believe. No, too little, too late. Didn't quite have enough time to get Dylan to the front, so we'll come home with a top 5. Not bad. Not bad at all. Had some fun along the way. We'll take our top 5 and we will move on. So Truex comes home with the victory. Not a bad payout, $211,000. Not a bad day's work. Alright, so the point standings, you can see it shows us in 2nd, but that's not really the case. If you go to if we had the actual playoff standings pulled up, we're still leading that by virtue of our 3 wins and 15 playoff points. Alright, fastest lap is basically meaningless at this track because it's all about who gets a run and when. Alright, we did not complete all of our incentive contract goals. Oh well. We'll have to see if we can make it through it. Alright, so next up, let's see. Which incentive contract do we want to go with? Again, it really makes no difference at all. I mean, the 3 wins obviously is possible, but, 3 wins in 5 races, if you can do that, then you are severely dominating a season. Let's do the normal. 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s. Yeah, let's do that. That seems like a good idea. And that will bring us to Kansas. So another 1.5 mile track. But of course, that will be in our next video. For now, thank you very much for joining me. And stay tuned for more NASCAR Heat 2.